Opening night rolls on in Blacksburg. The woman got a win earlier, and now it's time for the Hokies men team to tip off their season as they welcome the Maine Black Bears to Cassell Coliseum to start off their 2021 campaign. We welcome you in here on 3304 Sports. I'm Jake Lyman, my partner Andy Loce with me. Andy, this Hokies team, 4 consecutive trips to the NCAA tournament. Tonight starts their journey for a 5th straight trip.
Yeah, a lot of hope and optimism this season for all the Virginia Tech fans of their men's basketball program. They got a big returning core. Keve Aluma, Justin Mutts, that backcourt is going to play a big role. Apologies, my front court for Virginia Tech. That's going to play a big role this season, but everyone's buying in to the Mike Young era. After a disappointing first season with Virginia Tech, they stepped up last season despite the COVID-19 pandemic. And now a ton of fans think they got a top college basketball program with them in Blacksburg.
Well, you can tell the student section, the Cassell Guard, has showed out tonight. About 10 minutes from tip-off here in Cassell Coliseum, and a full student section. And a lot of hype coming because of the new point guard in town, Storm Murphy, coming over from Wofford after being named first team All-SoCon last year. The former Mike Young player joins him once again as a grad transfer.
Yeah, remember when Mike Young was at Wofford College and they went 30-5 that season and an appearance in the round of 32 in the 2019 NCAA tournament? Yeah, they got the 2 big playmakers from that roster now. They have Keve Aluma, who was the 2020-2021 second-team All-ACC player. And you mentioned it with Storm Murphy, an absolute bolster in that front court for the Virginia Tech Hokies. That's the thing that's going to make the difference for this team going forward, especially to help out as they might be a little undersized this year. So they got some good true shooters that they're trying to make an impact early on in this season.
Mike Young has said that his team can shoot all through 5, 1 through 5, and that's the first time he's ever had that happen. Storm Murphy, 17.8 points per game last season with the Wofford Terriers. The Hokies start their season against the Maine Black Bears, and looking at Maine, Andy, a lot of turmoil on this team. 9 new players and a full new staff behind head coach Richard Barron entering his 4th season with the team.
Yeah, this could be a very interesting year to watch for the Maine Black Bears. After only playing 9 games last season due to COVID-19, they almost had 13 games canceled or postponed. They were not able to get in any momentum last season. It might have been a disastrous season for the Black Bears, but there's a lot of optimism. You mentioned those 9 new players that come on in, but you got to mention they bring back 2 of their primary scorers in Stefan Ingo and LaShawn Duhart. These are playmakers for the Black Bears. They're going to try to come out early and often. 11 and 10.6 is not going to cut it against Virginia Tech, though. One of those 2 guys have to get going on the game tonight for Maine to really have a legitimate shot.
Ingo, the redshirt junior forward, standing at 6'9", 10.6 points like you mentioned, 8.6 rebounds last year. He is the star of this Black Bears team that likes to play through the post. Maine has not had a lot of success in their program's history, have not won more than 9 games since 2013. Their last winning season coming in 2011, one of 45 Division I teams to never reach the NCAA tournament. Andy, already going to be an uphill battle for this Maine team coming into this game. How do they stay in this game early against a Hokies team with high expectations this year?
Well, the thing is that with this Maine team is they bring in all these new guys. They have an opportunity. They got some height on this Maine Black Bears team, and I think that's something Virginia Tech does not have a good source of in Mike Young's team. So I think that's a good opportunity for Maine to attack, maybe go in the paint. I don't think you're going to beat this Virginia Tech team by shooting deep. So I think inside the post and inside that paint is going to be the big difference maker for Maine. Got to win that battle, and then maybe you get one of your guards getting hot from deep, knock down some buckets, and make this one interesting. But you're right, the uphill battle. It's going to be there for the Blackbirds. It's going to be a tough night for them.
You are right about Maine's height. 6 players on their roster, 6'7" or taller. So no lack of size for this Maine team, but maybe a lack of skill in some areas that the Hokies may be able to take advantage of. Want to look on the wings for this Hokies team. On that starting lineup, Hunter Couture, Naheem Aline, both of them entering their third season in Blacksburg, expected to take a pretty large leap this season.
Yeah, Hunter Couture was an absolute flamethrower from behind the arc last season for the Hokies, Jake. He had 12 games where he knocked down 3 or more three-pointers in those contests. That's a great mark when you consider the Hokies only played about 22 games last season. And how can Hokie fans not forget Naheem Aline down there in Hinkle Fieldhouse in the NCAA tournament with that big-time three-pointer? We're able to go on and win the game, but that was a great performance from Aline. I believe he dropped around 27, 28 points in that contest for the Hokies. So if he's able to pick up where he left off last season, Aline could be a great wing shooter, and those are one of the guys that aren't being talked enough for Virginia Tech. You mentioned Storm Murphy, you mentioned Kave Aluma, the Wofford alum, but now you have to look at the playmakers that are entering that third year. No more Tyrese Radford, no more Wabisa Beatty. Naheem Aline and Hunter Couture are going to get more opportunities on the court for Virginia Tech, and that's going to be able to develop their game to the next level.
And you mentioned Naheem Aline showing up in the biggest moment in the NCAA tournament against Florida, hit a buzzer beater to send the game to overtime, 28 points. That was a career high, the second most points by a Virginia Tech player in an NCAA tournament game. Couture and Aline, both sharpshooters from beyond the arc, shooting 43 and 40% respectively from long range last season. We are getting set for tip-off of the 2021-22 men's basketball season. Virginia Tech welcoming Maine to Blacksburg for this non-conference matchup as the Hokies look to start off their season on the right foot while the Black Bears try to play spoiler in front of this home crowd. We will take a break for the national anthem when we come back. Starting lineups and tip-off from Cassell Coliseum right here on 3304 Sports. We welcome you back to Cassell Coliseum, just a few minutes away from tip-off of the 2021-22 Virginia Tech men's basketball season as the Hokies welcome the Maine Black Bears to Blacksburg to start off the year. Virginia Tech, trying to reach their 5th consecutive NCAA tournament, just unveiled the banner for the first one under new head coach Mike Young, entering his 3rd season with Virginia Tech. Starting lineups being announced here inside Cassell Coliseum. Jake Lyman, Andy Loce with you here on 3304 Sports. So we're going to get you your starting lineups as well. We'll start with the visiting Maine Black Bears. It'll be Vukasin Masic out on the wing, the guard from Serbia, transferred from Hofstra University where he averaged 2.7 points in 20 games as a freshman. Fofo Adetogun, the sophomore guard, averaged 4 points last year and 3 rebounds, moving into the starting lineup this season. The star, we mentioned him in the pregame, Steph Ingo, the redshirt junior forward from Ontario, 10.6 points, 8.6 rebounds last season. He's paired with LaShawn Duhart out on the wing. The junior guard from Aurora, Colorado, averaged 11 points. That led the Black Bears last season. And then in the paint, the 7'1" graduate center, Chris Efratui, transferring from the University of Louisiana Monroe, averaged 4.7 points, 3.4 rebounds for Louisiana Monroe last year. Hokies lineup being announced here inside Cassell Coliseum on Carilion Clinic Court, and we will give it to you as well. Hunter Couture, the junior guard, mentioned he has to step up in his 3rd season in Blacksburg, averaged 8.5 points per game last year. Also on the wing, Naheem Aline, the junior guard from Buford, Georgia, averaged over 11 points last year, expected to step up as a scorer this season. Storm Murphy, the transfer from Wofford, played for Mike Young a few seasons ago, finishing his college career playing for his former coach, 17.8 points per game, and an all-SoCon first-team appearance last year. Keve Aluma on the first-team All-ACC preseason team after averaging 15 points per game a year ago. The redshirt senior, also a transfer from Wofford, expected to be in conversation for ACC Player of the Year. And Justin Mutts rounds it out, the graduate student from Millville, New Jersey. His 3rd stop of his career, averaged just under 10 points in his first season with the Hokies. Andy Mutts is a guy we didn't talk about much. He could play a big role for the Hokies. He had a huge game in the ACC tournament against North Carolina late last season.
He definitely did, and over the offseason, he talked about one thing he wants to get better at on the court is his defense. The goal that he has planned this year is first-team All-ACC defense, and I think that's something that he's going to try to take a big step towards when it comes to this year. The Hokies need the defense, especially on the front court. Mutts is going to be the guy to do it for them.
Well, as Enter Sandman plays and the students start jumping here in Cassell Coliseum, you look at the defense for Virginia Tech, could be the struggle. Two of their best defenders, especially on the perimeter, Wabisa Beatty, Tyrese Radford, both no longer with the team. Actually, both of them are in College Station with their former head coach Buzz Williams, so could be a tough test for the Hokies to replace that production.
That is, and the focus is going to be how do they step up. We know they're offensive playmakers when it comes to Storm Murphy, Hunter Couture, Naheem Ali, but can their defense do the same as last year? And to be a tough test against this, or a test they're going to have to see against Maine, who really isn't known for their offensive dynamite, but today's going to be the day to see how they're able to gel in the first 40 minutes of the season.
We are ready for tip-off here. Officials today, Roger Ayers, Scott Arbogast, Isaac Burnett. Virginia Tech will work towards the student section in the first half, while Maine goes towards the tunnel. Hokies in their all-whites with orange lettering. Maine in their navy blues with light blue lettering and numbering. Tip is in the air. Aluma hits it back to Murphy. The former Terriers combine, and the Hokies start with the ball in 2021. To Mutts, top of the key. Aline will hold it left wing. Moves against Adetenge. Now thrown out right side. Aluma drops it back off Couture, finds Murphy. Jab step into the lane. Back out. One more pass for Aline. Left wing three. Drains it. And the Hokies are on the board. An early three for Naheem Aline to start off his junior season. Efratui comes out from the paint and catches it straight away. Now finds Duhart. Back out to Adetogun. Efratui on the near elbow, working against Aluma, trying to back him down. Finds Ingo. Handoff back left side for Masic. Back out. Adetogun from the far corner. That's off the right rim and into the hands of Aline, who'll take it the other way for the Hokies. Couture near perimeter. Back. Mutts fires the three, and that's too strong. Couture tries to chase the long rebound, but Masic, the Serbian sophomore, able to grab it for Maine and head the other way. High ball screen from Ingo. Masic works far side, free throw line extended. Now swings it back out of Togan. Ingo gets it, works baseline, lost control, out of bounds. Hokies will take over. First turnover of the day for the Black Bears.
Well, exactly the start you want on the offensive side. Naheem Ali was talking at pregame, a great three-point shooter for this Hokie squad, and right now he was able to knock that one down, give the Hokies a quick 3-0 lead, get the crowd into it for the time being.
3-0 Hokies lead, just over a minute gone in the first half. Little bit of a full court press, trapping Murphy on the far side. Back to Couture and back to Murphy to get across the timeline. Passes to Aline. He pulls up immediately from three and sinks it. Back-to-back threes for Naheem Aline, and the Hokies are up 6-0, all on the back of the junior from Georgia. Ingo trying to run the offense from between the rings, finds Efratui just inside the arc. Steps through against Aluma, playing swarming defense, double-teamed by Aline, and taken away. Aluma to Murphy, back to Couture. His three from the left wing, offline, and into the hands of Duhart, who heads the other way for Maine. Drops it back off for Masic, holding on the Torgerson bridge on the far sideline. Now to Ingo. Bounce pass as a reach around Efratui on the ground, finally able to corral it. Double teamed in the lane, goes up and draws the foul. Believe Justin Mutts is going to get tagged with that one. First personal, first team foul for Virginia Tech will send Chris Efratui to the line.
It's definitely the case, and Naheem Ali knocks down another one. We've already seen a really good three-point performance tonight, Jake. We saw Asia Shepard do it earlier for the women. 7 3-pointers. Naheem Ali must have taken notes from Shepard's performance because he has knocked them down so far.
Crowd in full throat as Efratui lets go with the first free throw, and his first is good from the charity stripe. And that's right, Aline picking up right where he left off. Mentioned he had a career-high 28 points in the NCAA tournament against Florida last year. Already the first 6 for the Hokies. Efratui 2 for 2 from the line, and he will check out here. Small ball looks like it's going to start for Maine as the 7'1" Efratui checks out, and it'll be Asa Turgid who steps in, the redshirt sophomore from Turkey. Maine continues to trap in the backcourt, but Murphy crosses the timeline. 6-2 Hokies lead, just over 2 minutes gone in the first half. Murphy right wing. Drops the reach around pass to Aluma on the low block. Spins back towards the baseline and lays it in with the right hand. Keve Aluma's first points of the new campaign makes it 8-2 Hokies. 2.5 gone in the first half. Duhart gets the handoff from Masic. Back out Adetogan. Gets a high screen from Ingo. Adetogan on the right wing. Covered closely by Couture. Back to Ingo straight up. Finds Duhart. Duhart drives baseline against Aline. Scoop layup is no good. Aline able to grab the board. Outlet pass up ahead to Couture on the far sideline. Double team quickly, but Couture gets out of it and resets the offense between the rings. Finds Murphy. Fade away in the lane. Blocked by Turgott and pulled in by Ingo. They'll head the other way. And now a whistle called. Fist comes in the air from head referee Roger Ayers. And it looked like Murphy got up on him a little bit too much there. Going to be a foul. Second team foul on Virginia Tech. 8-2. 3 minutes gone in the first half. Masic brings it across half court. Immediately hands off Steph Ingo. Back out at Togan. Couture all over him. Masic comes from the baseline on a pin down. Gets back out. Now Ingo into the paint for Turgott. Tries to spin through against Mutts. Great defense. And that's 3 seconds on the Turkish forward. A great defense from Justin Mutts. Andy, we talked about it, how that was his goal, to be better on the defensive end, and that was a great first possession for him there. Yeah,
that definitely was. Just hands straight up. Don't try to go into the player with the ball. Just in there. He was spinning around. He knew that the 3 seconds are coming up fast, and that was a great job for the Hokies to force the turnover on the Black Bears.
Hokies break the press, work across half court. Murphy runs through the center circle, back to Aluma, way out from the paint. Couture right wing, bounce pass inside Mutts, back to the basket, spins, right hand hook shot off the glass is good. 10-2 Hokies lead. Justin Mutts is in the scoring column, third Hokie to tally a point today, joining Aline and Aluma. Just under 4 minutes played in this first half of basketball. Turgott hands off Masic. Maine will drive into the lane. Masic runs out of space. Aluma on the floor and tips it to Mutts. Heads the other way. Pass to Aline. And alley-oop to Mutts. He slams it down with 2 hands for the alley-oop flush. And the crowd is going crazy. Maine wants a timeout.
Well, exactly what they wanted to do. Bring the energy out, get the offense going, and a little bit of an exclamation point here just about 4 minutes in, finding Justin Mutts on the alley-oop. They look comfortable out there, Jake. They look like they know what they're doing. They've been dominating the Maine defense all day today. 5 of 8 from the floor, 2 of 4 of deep. Maine's got to step it up defensively if they want to keep themselves with the Hokies. At times, the Maine Black Bears, we mentioned their KenPom rating. It has been great for Maine in the past, so they got to get something going defensively if they want to stay with the Hokies in this matchup.
Well, it's been over 600 days, Andy, since a crowd has filled Cassell Coliseum, and they've gotten something to cheer about early. 2 threes from Naheem Aline, and then the monster alley-oop slam from Justin Mutts. Hokies up 12-2 as we hit the under 16 media timeout. We will take a break and be right back with more hoops here on 3304 Sports. Welcome back to Cassell Coliseum. Virginia Tech out to a hot start in their season opener against Maine, 12-2, punctuated by a Justin Mutts alley-oop slam off a great pass from Naheem Aline. Jake Lyman, Andy Loce with you on 3304 Sports. Maine trying to bounce back down 10 with just over 4 minutes gone. Ingo will take it top of the key, finds Masic far side. Murphy waiting about 5 feet away, guarding on defense. High ball screen. Masic will now get a switch against Justin Mutts. Mutts, ball in his hand in his face, but Masic still knocks it down from between the rings. First knockdown shot from Masic, and for the Black Bears, first field goal makes it 12-5.
Exactly what the Black Bears need. It gets some offense going to try to catch up to this Hokies red-hot start.
Hokies will get it to the elbow for Aluma. Now drops it down high to low for Mutts. Reverse layup, and it falls off the rim and in for Justin Mutts, who now has 6 points on the day. 14-5 Hokies lead, just over 5 minutes played here in the first half. Fearbergs and Jashante Wright-McLeish have checked in for Maine. Ingo holds on the near side. Handoff. We haven't seen a lot from LaShawn Duhart, he misses his shot, but a putback there from Fierbergs, and that'll be another bucket for the Maine Black Bears. Back-to-back possessions ending in a score. It's now 14-7 Hokies. Aline trapped at the middle of center court, now finally gets free as he splits it and gives it to Storm Murphy. Murphy stands in the center circle, right-hand dribble, waist high. Moves to the right wing, crossover dribble, now finally gets rid of it to Aluma with 8 on the shot clock. Back to Aline, drops it down low post for Mutts, backs down Ingo, now spins, right-hand hook shot, that's too strong, and that'll bounce out right into the hands of Steph Ingo, who played some great defense on that possession. Finds the point guard, Masic. Right-hand dribble, shoots it out to Duhart, right side. Inside, Ingo, who works against Aluma. Squares up, spins, left-hand hook shot, swatted away by Aluma. Aline saves it, and the Hokies head the other way. First rejection for Keve Aluma tonight. Murphy working quickly in transition. Right-hand pass, Couture splits the defense and lays it in easily with the right hand as he just sets it over the front rim. 16-7, Virginia Tech in front. 13.5 to go in the first half. There's Wright McLeish, finds Fierbergs, the two off the bench for the Black Bears. Back to Masic. Ingo will try his luck from the top of the key, offline left side. Two Hokies tried to grab the rebound, and Aline and Mutts knock it out of bounds. Bad mistake there for the Hokies. Will keep it with Maine as they will throw it in from the baseline. Some changes for the Hokies. Darius Maddox will see his first time of the season. And John Ojiako, Big John, getting into the game. The 6'11" native Nigerian is in. 13-11 to go off the inbounds pass. Duhart will take a fading jumper towards the baseline. That's off the right rim, but brought back in by Maine as they will keep it with it. 13 on the shot clock. Duhart, free throw line extended, backdoor pass swatted away by Justin Mutts. Hokies head the other way. Mutts with a huge rejection of Filippovidi, and the Hokies have possession. Mutts holds top of the key. He'll let it go from long range, and nothing but net from Justin Mutts. He's on fire. He has 9 of the Hokies' early 19 points. Make it 12, actually, for Justin Mutts. Unbelievable. 19-7, Hokies lead. 12.5 to go in the first half. Duhart far side, guarded closely by Aline. He'll get it to Filippovidi. Drives. Nowhere to go with that one, and a foul is called before he got to the rim. That'll be Justin Mutts picking up the foul. 4th team foul for the Hokies. First on Mutts, and he will sit down here. David Gasson will check in, and Ojiako, quick minutes there as he's back out. Keve Aluma back on the floor.
Yeah, we talk about Mutts' defensive ability, but right now he's looking like the best offensive player out on the court for Virginia Tech.
12 points, 2 of 3 from long range, and 5 of 7 from the floor. Duhart gets into the lane, misses off the back iron. Filippovidi follows. He can't get it to go, and finally we see Fierbergs tap it in with the right hand, and it's 19-9. Hokies still a 10-point lead as we tick under 12 minutes to go in the first half. Aline far wing. Gasson fakes the screen. Back out Aluma. Swing it all the way around to Murphy near side. 2 follow Murphy. Sends it back down to Aluma. Backing down Fierbergs. Spins. Finally puts it up and just got it over the front rim. Aluma drops it in. He has 4. 21-9. Hokies lead. 11:30 to go in the first half. Duhart left-hand dribble, hands off. Filippovidi spins. Gasson all over him, gets down into the restricted area, pass back out, and Wright McLeish too strong from the left wing. Filippovidi follows the long rebound, and Maine once again working hard on the offensive glass, and there'll be a fresh 20. Now down to 10 as Wright McLeish holds top of the key, guarded by the sophomore Darius Maddox. Crossover dribble, left side. Filippovidi has been active, spins into the lane, scoop shot, couldn't get it to go. Ball's on the ground. Filippovidi got it back, but that ball never hit the rim. Shot clock violation for the Bears. A turnover, and the Hokies lead 21-9 as we head to the under 12 media timeout. Andy, Hokies playing great defense on one side of the floor. The issue has been that defensive glass haven't been able to pull in those boards.
Yeah, we talked about how Maine was a little bit taller than the Hokies coming into tonight's game, and there's been times where the Black Bears have looked better in the paint. That was the area I believe that they had to lock into in order to win tonight's game. But when it comes to rebounding, right now they got a very good advantage of 10 to the Hokies 4. So if the Maine are able to continue to crash the boards throughout the night, they're looking pretty solid. They're playing smart basketball, 0 personal fouls so far. But now is the time to think to yourself, how do we expose this Hokies defense with Justin Mutts on the bench? I mean, the guy has 12 of the 21 points. I mean, you have 3 players on the court that have no buckets so far. So I think it all comes down to how you can take advantage of this opportunity at hand.
And Mutts, I thought he had 9. He does have 9. They attributed one of Naheem Aline's threes to Justin Mutts for some reason. That has been corrected. Aline has 6. Mutts has 9. On the other side, for the Black Bears, has not been a great start. Fierbergs has 4, and then the 3 from Vukas and Masic, but just really hasn't been much going on the offensive end, and struggling to stop the Hokies. 9 of 13 the Hokies are on the offensive side.
Yeah, that's when you have to understand your matchups a little bit better. There was a time where Fierbergs was in the post with Hunter Couture. If you're Maine, you have to give the ball to Fierbergs in that opportunity. That is a huge mismatch. 8 inches going the way of your own teammates. So that's something that needs to get better at. I know there's a lot of emotions from Maine coming in here to Cassell Coliseum. A pretty packed house tonight here in Blacksburg. About maybe 70-80% of the seats are full. So it's going to be a tough environment and element to come into if you're the Blackburns. So I think it calms down. Just got to ease it down a bit. We're under the 12 minutes now. You're not too far out of this game yet. It's a 12-point game, but if the Black Bears really want to get anything going, Jake, it's going to have to come from deep. 1 of 5 shooting so far compared to the Hokies 3 of 5. Maine's got to clean that up a little bit and make sure they're able to get some smart baskets.
Again, 11 minutes remaining in the first half. Hokies up 21-9 on Maine. Expected that Virginia Tech would get out to an early lead on this team. We mentioned Ken Pomeroy's rankings has the Hokies as the 39th ranked team in the country. Maine sitting at 333rd, so a pretty large mismatch. Hokies have high expectations, though, Andy. Picked 5th in the ACC preseason poll, receiving 5 first-place votes. John Rothstein, a very well-known college basketball pundit, picked them as one of his dark horse Final Four candidates. This is a team that has some expectations and maybe a chance to make a run in just Mike Young's 3rd season.
Yeah, there's a lot of hope that they can make a push in the ACC, a very talented basketball conference, although looks like Duke's a really good team. Florida State's always a great one to mess with. And even though Roy Williams is out at UNC, that is always a team to watch out for. So you have to make sure that you get some momentum heading to conference play with these first 2 months of the season. And right now it's a good start for the Hokies, but is it going to be able to pick on up as we got some new faces on the court right now?
Storm Murphy takes a break. It'll be the freshman Sean Padula from Oklahoma. He makes his debut here for the Hokies. Sends it right side for Couture. Back to Maddox, top of the key. Gasson to Aluma left wing. Hands off Padula. Drives into the paint. Lobbed up to Aluma, and he couldn't get it to go, but does draw the foul out of Togan. Got in the way, and Aluma gets the body. He will go to the line for 2.
Yeah, Padula is a very excellent guard. I know he's only a 3-star, but he comes out of Oklahoma. You know he went to high school, the same high school as? Yeah, Bill Self, the legendary Kansas head coach out there in Topeka for the time being. But I think Padula is going to be the young guy to learn with all this experience on this team. I mean, you have Storm Murphy to rely on. Hunter Couture is entering his 3rd year. And you look at players on the guard as well with Naheem at lead. Padula is going to have a great learning year this year, but opportunities for him to get involved as well and make an impact for the Hokies.
Padula, one of 2 freshmen coming in for the Hokies. Aluma knocks down both at the line. Padula and Jalen Haynes, the only 2 newcomers coming in for their first year. 23-9, Hokies lead, 10.5 to go in the first half. Out of Togan. Fires left side. Now back to Ingo at the top of the key, guarded by Aluma. Near side, pass from Klanschek is thrown out of bounds. That'll be another turnover for the Black Bears there. Was trying to find Byron Ireland And the Hokies take it the other way. 23-9, 10.5 to go in the first half. Padula playing two-man game with Couture just to get it across the timeline. Couture will hold just to the right of the center circle. Left-hand dribble just above the knees. Finds Gasson on the left wing. Thought about the three. Right-hand dribble, back out, has Maddox, back to Gasson, guarded by Ingo, drives baseline, finds the shoulder into him, lays it up off the box and down. Gasson's first points of the new campaign, 25-9, Virginia Tech on top, over halfway through this first half in Blacksburg. Turgott will work against Gasson. Swung around near side. Ireland, the freshman, works against his fellow freshman counterpart in Padula. Throw inside Ingo, and Aluma got a little bit too handsy there over the back. That's going to be a foul on the Hokies center. That's the second personal on Aluma. Fourth team foul on Virginia Tech, compared to just one for Maine thus far. It'll be a baseline throw in here. Togan will take it, standing between the T and E in Virginia Tech. Throws it out, outlet pass on the Carillion Clinic logo for Ingo. Back to Togan, who spins on the right side against Couture. Back out Ingo, straight away, three offline to the left, and Mutts goes high to grab the rebound with the left hand and gets it out to Aline. Aline, crossover dribble, almost lost it against Klanschek. Now finds Mutts, swung around, Storm Murphy back in the game. Back Mutts, wide open corner three, you won't take it. Gets into the lane, backs down Ingo, great backdoor pass, and Ogiaco slams it home with two hands.
And John Ogiaco only had one dunk last season. It was his only bucket in the 2020-2021 campaign. He gets one here in the first half of the first game of the year.
Ogiaco getting more run in his junior season. Great pass from Mutts to find him. Ireland back out Togan, who's at the top of the key. Step back, thought about the three, pump fake back to Ingo. Now Togan gets it back, mismatch against Ogiaco. Spins, scoops, and that's off the glass. Ogiaco grabs it and passes off to Aline to head the other way. 5-on-4, Aline drives against Turgott, 4 versus 4 there. Back out, Mutts, hard chest pass. Murphy fakes him out, fires the three, and just short. And Ireland, who got turned around there by Murphy, able to grab the rebound, goes coast to coast the other way and scoops it off the glass and off the front iron and in. Maine into double digits now, 27-11, 8 minutes remaining in this first half.
Man, what an aggressive bucket for your first ever collegiate basket. Man, he goes right in, splits the defenders, and makes a very, very good layup.
Freshman guard from Annapolis, Maryland. Good pass from Mutts, finds Murphy in the near corner. Too strong with the three-pointer. Ogiaco gets the board and lays it back in and one. Big John Ogiaco looking much more refined in his third season with the team, as he now has 4 points and a chance to get the Hokies to 30 with one more at the stripe.
Yeah, Ogiaco came in about 2 years ago under Mike Young, and everyone knew him as his raw talent, 6'10" from Nigeria. He was a guy that you were thinking, maybe a few years under his belt, he'll be able to come out and be a great big man for this Hokies team, and that's what Mike Young is hoping. He's now a junior. You mentioned that, 2 years already underneath his belt. And it looks like his productivity has gone up a little bit, but also his game as well. You know, at times in his first 2 seasons here, he would look a little confused at times on where to go with it. Now he looks a lot more comfortable being in his third year in Blacksburg.
Ogiaco's free throw drops in nicely, nothing but net. And it is 30-11, Virginia Tech way out in front, 8 minutes remaining in this first half. Ireland right side. Back out Ingo, straight back to Ireland, trying to get it into the 7-footer. Efratui working against his fellow Nigerian on the low block. Right-hand hook shot, and that will find the net. Efratui's first basket of the game. He had 2 free throws, now up to 4 points. 30-13, Hokies lead, 7:36 left in the first half. Couture and Murphy again, just rainbowing that ball back and forth to get across half court. Now Aline finds it right wing, inside Ogiaco, backs down Efratui, left-hand hook shot comes up short. Mutts in the paint, gets it back. He can't get it to go. Ogiaco tried to grab the offensive board again, but knocked it out of bounds. and that will head the other way with Maine after the under 8 media timeout. Virginia Tech up 30-13. Justin Mutts leading the way with 9, followed by Naheem Aline with 6. Keve Aluma also with 6, and John Ogiaco a surprising 5 early on. We will take a break here on 3304 Sports. More hoops coming up when we come back right here on 3304 Sports. Welcome back inside Cassell Coliseum. 3304 Sports coverage of men's basketball. Jake Lyman and Andy Loce with you. Virginia Tech up 30-13 early in the first half against Maine. 7:20 to go until the halftime break. Maine will have possession, working left to right towards the tunnel. Byron Ireland brings it across. The freshman guard pulls up immediately from straight away, and he's too strong. Aline skies high with both hands to grab the board. Hokies head the other way. Justin Mutts brings it across. He's got 9 points. Spin move trying to get by Fierberg's. Right-hand pass inside. Ogiaco spins, and he's too strong with the shot there. It'll go back Maine's way. Masic, the point guard, hit a 3 earlier. He will pull up just outside the three-point line. Too strong, and Aline again grabs the board. He has 5 rebounds with 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Aline pulls up, foot on the line, and that one is offline. Maybe looking for the foul there. Didn't get the whistle. Ireland grabs the board and heads the other way. Ireland nowhere to go. Picked up his dribble. Now finds Masic. Murphy all over him on the near side. Efratui, the center, playing outside the arc. Swing it around all the way, and Fierbergs has it in the near corner. Efratui just outside the paint. Back to the basket, now spins back. Fierberg's right wing, and he's offline with that 3. Couture grabs it for Virginia Tech, and the Hokies have possession. Under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Mutts thought about the 3 against Ireland. Instead, gets it down low for Ogiaco, looking for somewhere to pass it. Instead, he'll go to work against Efratui. Hook shot up, no good. Mutts skies high for the offensive board. He can't get the follow to go, and he's slow to get up behind the play. Maine 3-on-2 in transition. Wright McLeish scoops it in on the reverse layup off the glass. And now the Hokies only doubling up Maine, 30-15, 5:34 to go in the first half, and Mike Young wants his first timeout of the new season. Great play there for the Maine Black Bears, stopping Mutts in the lane and turning that into points on the other end.
Yeah, it was really sloppy basketball heading out of the under 8. It seemed like Maine was hoisting up shots from deep, but they weren't connecting. But the thing was, they were able to turn defense into offense, and that's exactly what they did when they had numbers coming the other way. And Wright McLeish, that's an impressive layup right there, going from coast to coast, just like that from across the paint. So that means let's see how Maine's able to keep on doing it, though. I mean, they've only gotten 15 points so far. This next 5 minutes and 30 seconds will tell a true testament of how these teams should be feeling going into the halftime locker room. Maine probably wants to keep on bringing in within single digits. Meanwhile, Tech will probably want to go into half with a 20-plus point lead.
Well, the Hokies, their main concern was defense heading into this, and they have been great thus far, holding Maine to 6 of 22 shooting and just 15 points. Ready to resume play. Murphy brings it through the center circle and finds Aline near side. Back out to Couture on the left perimeter. Right-hand dribble, brings it back top of the key. Now finds Aline with a bounce pass. Inside to Gasson, and that's laid in from about 5 feet. Good floater there from Gasson. He's got 4 points, 32-15. Hokies lead. Just over 5 minutes to go in the first half. Fierbergs finds Duhart, who finally finds the scoring sheet as that one rolls on off the front rim, then the back rim, and then into the net. 32-17, Hokies up, under 5 minutes to go in the first half. Murphy barely gets across half court. Duhart meets him there. Now finds Couture just above the pylons on the right side of the court. Aluma straight over to Murphy as the two Terriers connect. Great crossover from Murphy, and he sinks the mid-range jumper from just inside the left arc. Storm Murphy knocks down a shot. His first points as a Hokie, and Virginia Tech doubling up Maine 34-17. Wright McLeish just had that great transition layup, finds Duhart on the near side as Aline's all over him, trying to reach in and grab the basketball. Retreats over to the hash mark, left-hand dribble into the lane, thought about a step-back jumper, instead drops it off for Ingo, spins, hesitates, gets past Aluma, puts it in, and now blocked off the backboard by Gasson on the follow. Murphy's able to grab the ricocheting rebound into the lane. Tried to skip it out for Aline. Tipped by Wright McLeish. Aline able to corral it back to Couture, top of the three. And that is in for Hunter Couture. The Hokies continuing their reign from long range. 4th three of the day for Virginia Tech, who now leads by 20. 37-17, under 4 minutes left in the first half. Murphy gets over top of a ball screen from Ingo, right back on the pick and pop. Ingo's three, too strong. Aline grabs the board. That is his 6th for Virginia Tech, but then a bad pass out to the right side for Couture. A turnover will take us to the under 4 timeout. Virginia Tech continuing to pull away 37-17, and they have 7 players who have scored thus far. We will take a break here on 3304 Sports and be right back for the final 4 minutes of this first half right after this. Finishing up the first half here in Cassell Coliseum, Virginia Tech up 37-17 on Maine in the season opener. 3:26 to go here on 3304 Sports. Jake Lyman, Andy Loce with you. Maine will have possession as we resume play. Masic finds Ingo just to the left of center court. Swing it all the way around. Filipovity backs down, and Gasson lost control of it, and he stepped on the baseline. Good call from the baseline referee. Sends it the other way for the Hokies.
Well, that's exactly what you want out of the under 4 immediate timeout. Come out strong, play defensively, and force a turnover, and that's exactly what the Hokies did here.
Hokies up by 20, trying to extend that. Murphy just scored his first points as a Hokie. He gets the return pass from Couture as he crosses center court. Calls out directions, finds Mutts near side, drives in against Filipovity. Right-hand hook shot off the glass. That's a little too much on it. Filipovity pulls in the long board. Drop back pass for Masic. High ball screen on Maddox into the lane. Right hand floater bounces around and in. And a foul called after the play, it seems. Basket is going to count. And I believe Maine will get the ball underneath. 37-19. So Maine gets the ball on the baseline. 2:45 to go in the first half. They've cut it to an 18-point deficit and a chance for possible 2 scores on 1 possession. Mike Young not pleased with that. He'll now retreat back to the bench after a conversation with the referee. Maine ready to pass it in from underneath. Duhart will flash to the left corner, and now a high pass back out to Ingo at center court, and they'll reset. Masic drives into the lane, elbow pass out far side. Right McLeish off the back rim with his three-pointer, and Couture grabs the board for the Hokies and sprints up the far sideline the other way. Mutts, quick pass back into Gasson in the short corner. Faces up against Filipovity, backs him down, shoulder into the chest, left-hand hook, and that drops in as Gasson used the glass. He's got 6 points. Hokies back up by 20, 39-19, 2:15 to go in the first half. Duhart gets a screen from Masic, double teamed on the right wing, now switching with Gasson. Ingo, and now an offensive foul. Murphy points the other way. That's going to be on Duhart, it looks like. Coming off a high screen on a pin down, and Murphy did a good job to draw the foul. 2:01 left in the first half. 39-19. Hokies have the advantage up to 20. This is their largest lead of the game, trying to extend it.
Yeah, these last 121 seconds will tell the tape of how teams go in halftime. I mentioned that Hokies been doing a much better job of trying to maximize that lead heading into the break. Maine's got to step up a little bit defensively here and have some momentum going into the break.
Storm Murphy will start off the offensive possession, finds Mutts, free throw line extended right side, drop back to the sophomore Maddox, who hits the mid-range jumper just inside the arc. That's a 2, 41-19, a minute 45 to go in the first half. Hokies have their lead up to 22. Fierbergs to Ingo, handoff Masic, double team, taken away by Mutts, ball rolling around, Mutts back to Maddox, and a great play by Byron Ireland to swoop in and poke that pass away. He takes it coast to coast, scoop return, and it's off the glass. Ingo tried to follow, can't as well. Murphy heads the other way. A minute 17 to go. To Aline, into the paint, and Ingo fouled him before swatting that one right into the hardwood. It'll be 2 shots for Naheem Aline at the stripe. Can get this Hokies lead up to 24 in the first half. Andy, can't think of a much better way to start the season for this Hokies team.
Not at all, Jake. I mean, if they're going to hold a team underneath 20 points, you know, look at the KenPom rankings, look at everything. But if you're able to come out here on your home court and really leave out a good first half, that's saying something about how you're feeling going not into just the second half, but into the next game and a little bit way down. We were talking about this beforehand. It's a tough non-conference stretch, so you got to make sure when you have an opportunity to take down your opponent, you don't waste around and you go for it, and that's exactly what the Hokies have done here.
Hokies a tough road test coming up on Friday in Annapolis against Navy. It was an inbounds pass, not 2 shots, and Naheem Aline flashing on the inbounds pass, hits the 16-foot jumper, and the Hokies up 43-19. Under a minute to go in the first half. Handoff Masic, gets a screen from Ingo, now a switch. Mutts on Masic, pass back Fierberg's left wing 3, and he hits it. Three-pointer gets Maine to 22, now trailing by 21. 45 seconds to go in the first half. Aline brings it across half court, finds Maddox just in front of the main bench. Back to Murphy, wide open corner 3, and that rims out. Duhart able to pull it in front of Maddox. Shot clock and game clock separated by about 1 to 2 seconds. So Maine will hold for the last shot. Hokies up 43-22. Last possession of the first half here. Crowd getting loud here in Cassell Coliseum. Opening game of the 2021-22 season. Double team in the midcourt. Murphy takes it away. Ahead to Mutts. It's off the leg of Ireland. Up ahead. 4.3 seconds left on the clock. Hokies will have an inbound in the offensive end. A chance to add more before the half.
Yeah, bringing Hunter Couture and Keve Aluma some offensive strength here in these last 4.3 seconds. Before Aluma was in, I was anticipating maybe a 3-point shot. You got all 5 starters in. This is the play they run in practice, Jake, and we're going to see what they dial up here.
Hokies all standing in a row right on the free throw line. Aluma, Aline, Couture, and Mutts in order. Murphy inbounds. Finds Couture. Clock under 4 seconds. Couture back to Murphy, left wing 3. Off the backboard and in. Lightning strikes for Storm Murphy as he banks it in to end the half, and the Hokies have a 24-point lead at the break. What a play for Storm Murphy. A slow start for the Wofford transfer, but now up to 5 points at the halftime break, and what a shot there.
Man, that's the way you want to finish it off. Maybe the most perfect 20 minutes he can have in a game. I mean, 46-22 is the score you won in Blacksburg tonight. The women had it at halftime, and now the men have it at the break. But Murphy, I mean, he's going to be a fan favorite here in Blacksburg. He brings the energy. He has fun out there, and the bank just goes on in. So 1-1 on the year for halftime buzzer beaters for the Virginia Tech Hokies, just as they drew it up.
Storm Murphy says the bank is open, drops that one in. Again, a 46-22 lead for Virginia Tech at the halftime break. Jake Lyman, Andy Loce with you as we transition into the 3304 Sports halftime report. Andy, it all started with Justin Mutts, big number 25, really got the Hokies going an early 3, and the big alley-oop that got the crowd into it early.
Yeah, Mutts came out here early on. He was leading a Let's Go Hokies chant for the student section here. You could tell he was the one who was the most amped up for the game, just the way that he was out there on the court. And he really brought it on in the first 5 minutes. He definitely moved this Hokies team into the position that they want to be going forward, this high, fast, energetic squad. And I think Mutts did a really good job of really encompassing that on early, and not only doing on the offensive side, which he was able to do a lot of last season, but also on the defensive side as well. We mentioned how he wants to be that big defensive playmaker for Mike Young's team. I think you did a really good job of it early, but I think the offense is what stood out for Mutts in this first half, and seeing Mutts become a reliable offensive player might go hand in hand with Keve Aluma down the stretch, but for right now, it's a really good start for Justin Mutts in the second year in Blacksburg.
And for Keve Aluma, like you mentioned, expected to be the star of this team. Not a very loud half for Keve Aluma, just 6 points, but an efficient one, 2 for 2 on the day, and helping out the Hokies in many different ways. Had a big block on the defensive end.
Yeah, I think Aluna had some struggles early in that first half, picked up 2 personal fouls with just 9 minutes and 43 seconds remaining. So he had to really sit on the bench for the entire second half of the first half. So I think that if he is able to be smart, stay out of foul trouble early on in the second half, we'll be definitely seeing more of Keve Aluma down the stretch. And I definitely think with him on the court, this is a Virginia Tech team that can really take over the Black Bears.
And for the Hokies as well, we mentioned Naheem Aline. He picked up right where he left off from last year in the NCAA tournament. He opened the scoring with back-to-back threes.
He really did, and we were mentioning how Mutts brought in the energy and got things going. Aline's playmaking was the one that was able to get things underway. He's the veteran of this team now, believe it or not. 2 years ago, he was just this freshman that was trying to figure out how to make his mark on Mike Young's squad. Now he might be the primary shooter for Virginia Tech, the way that he's been able to perform in recent years and in recent performances as well. So I think that this is going to be Naheem Aline's green light season. I think he's going to take a lot of jumpers, and I think he was just trying to find a stroke early on, and it was working really well. But I'm really impressed with Aline on the defensive side of the game. He leads all Hokies right now with 6 rebounds. That's an impressive mark for being a guard in Naheem Aline. So I think the way he's been able to encompass both sides of the ball have been what's really working well for the junior guard.
Hokies have shot the ball well as a whole. Aline 3 for 4, and as a team, Hokies 19 of 33. That's 57.6%. On the other side for Maine, it's been a struggle for them offensively as we expected. Again, coming in, Ken Palm rated them as the 352nd best offense in the entire country, and that's shown 9 of 32 from the floor, 2 of 12 from long range.
Yeah, like I was mentioning during the beginning of that first half, it's a struggle to come into an environment like this and try to play your best basketball. Virginia Tech is a great team. Now, the Hokies aren't really well known for their defense, more for their offense, so we were wondering how the Black Bears are able to step into this and really perform on the court, but they really have not been able to get in any mojo going forward. And the first 3 to 4 minutes before that first media timeout in the second half will be a big indicator if Maine can get themselves back in this matchup being down by 24.
We saw in the first game of our doubleheader the women's team for Virginia Tech beating Davidson, but Davidson outscoring the Hokies by 5 in the second half. Virginia Tech will hope that the Black Bears don't leak back into the game like the Wildcats did earlier. Before we get out of here in this halftime report, going to mention one stat. 3 assists for Maine to 10 turnovers, 10 assists for Virginia Tech to just 2 turnovers. That's a way to win basketball games for Mike Young.
Smart basketball playing right there. You want that 5.0 assist to turnover ratio.
5.0, that is an unbelievable mark for Virginia Tech. They'll look to keep it going in the second half. Again, 46-22 the score. Virginia Tech leading Maine in the season opener of this 2021-2022 campaign. We will take a break. When we come back, Andy Loce takes over play-by-play duties here for the second half. You're listening to men's basketball on 3304 Sports.
Welcome back to Blacksburg, Virginia, where we have the men's basketball season opener between the Virginia Tech Hokies and the Maine Black Bears. The home team of the Hokies got a red-hot start, a 46-22 advantage over the American East Side in the Maine Black Bears. My name is Andy Loce, joined alongside here with Jake Lyman on 3304 Sports. The next 20 minutes are going to tell a pretty big story, Jake. How did both teams really jump out here with an impressive start?
Yeah, Hokies want to pull away. The women couldn't do it earlier, while Maine trying to find themselves back in this game by the end of this one.
Maine will start with the possession as Duhart fires a 3 and buries it down. That's exactly the way the Black Bears want to get going. Not the greatest shooting first half, but able to knock it down, making a 46-25 point game. Starters for both teams are back out here to start off the second half. Murphy will cut down to the baseline, swinging over to Mutts, who gives up to Aluma on the top of the rim, squares up and fires away his first three-point attempt. It is no good, and it goes off the bucket. That's the first miss for Aluma today, whether it comes from the field or from the free throw line. Stitch has the ball now here for Maine. Give up to Duhart. He wants to try it again. That one's no good. Following the shot, though, is going to be the player of Maine. And Engo is going to go off of Engo and out of play. And it will be Virginia Tech basketball.
There was the heat check from Duhart after hitting the first one. Wanted to try his luck again. That one not as high quality of a shot, though.
So Murphy will bring this one across the timeline for the Hokies, looking for the cutter of Lean, but we'll give it to Mutts on the right wing. Poked away for a bit. Mutts is able to recover, splits the defenders for the time being, but picks up his dribble. Will now find Luna all alone down in the paint with a two-hand slam for the first basket of the second half for Virginia Tech. It's now a 48-25 lead. Now coming on in, it is going to be Adi Togun. A quick little move here from Efretuniu, and it's no good as it goes off of the rim, and it's rebounded by Justin Mutts. Murphy brings this one across the timeline, trying to drive on in, kicks back out to Mutts from the left wing. That one's no good off the back iron and rebounded from a Stitch. 18-24 Maine in the second half. It's a 48-25 lead for the Hokies. But Stitch working on it on top of the logo. Now looking on in, fired away. It's going to be short. This shot was up on Adi Togun. It's no good, and Murphy's the man to rebound it. Murphy using his handles to try to create some separation. Gives it on to Mutts. Tries to drive it inside. A foul will be called on the floor. It will go against the Maine Blackbears. He'll go against Efretuniu, the big man for the Black Bears. So this one will be on the floor. An inbound coming on in the left side of the Hokies bucket. The Black Bears now working towards the direction of Cassell guard, while the Hokies are going to be moving in the direction towards the tunnel. 18:02 remaining in the second half. Storm Murphy into inbound. He will give the lob up to Justin Mutts, who's able to recover. Shot clock goes back up to 20 seconds. Aluna trying to think about what to do. Puts the ball down. Nice dribbling. Trying to make a post move on in. Goes with the right hand. It's too strong. And rebounded there by Mastich. Mastich now dribbling up to the left wing. Almost lost possession of it. Now he does, as Murphy's able to take it away from the point guard. Working with now Couture over to lead in the far corner. Rims in and out. It's no good. Maine going to have numbers coming the other way. Duhart going to pull away from three, and that's going to get stuck in between the rim and the backboard. A jump ball now as Naheem Aline able to go in there and poke it away for the Hokies. 17:30 remaining. What have impressed you the most in this first 2 minutes and 30 seconds?
Good wedgie there from Duhart. Maine playing a lot faster, it seems like, in this second half, getting out to a solid start, especially on the defensive end, but Hokies doing a good job not to let this game get away from them.
Mastich will sub out in for Ireland as he will come on in the first substitution of the second half. Mutts working the top perimeter, lays it up and in, goes with the right hand off the glass, and able to get it to fall. The Hokies have doubled up the points that Maine has put up tonight, a 50-25 lead as we hit the 3-minute mark into the second half. Maine trying to bring it on inside. The hook shot there from Ngo is no good, and it's rebounded by the Hokies. It goes to Mutts, who gives up to Lean. Stepping in front of Aline, it's going to be the defender of Efretuniu. It's going to go off of his right foot and out of play, which will keep possession with the Hokies. And now another substitution coming on in for the Black Bears. Fearbergs will come on in now here for Stefan Ngo. 24 seconds remaining on the shot clock here for Virginia Tech. Aline will give it up to Murphy, who works up to the top of the logo. Back to Aline, over to Couture. Feeds it on over to Aluna. Trying to find his former Wofford teammate in Storm Murphy. He'll register Hunter Couture. Rims in and out, and it's no good. The Hokies not having the greatest start from three-point shooting. Here comes Ireland as he tries to work down to the post. Dribbles out, dribbles, and now back on in and goes into the defender of Hunter Couture. A charge call is made and will go in possession of the Hokies.
Hunter Couture, charge alert. That was a big thing last year for this Virginia Tech team. Hunter Couture, known for taking charge, keeping his feet set on defense, and a great play there to draw the turnover.
16:28 remaining in the second half. The Hokies have a 50-25 lead on top of the Black Bears. Mutts will inbound this one to Storm Murphy, who coming across half court, a little nonchalantly, just showing off his handles a little bit from behind the back. Gives it on up to Keve Aluma, gets a screen. Two defenders now on Murphy as one drops back to Aluna. Drives inside with the right hand, can't get that one to go. It will go into the hands of Efretuniu, and Aluna will commit the foul as he stuck right there and he was trying to rip the ball away from his fellow center in Efretuniu. But that will be Aluna's third personal foul. He will stay in this game. And now as we go with just around the 16-minute mark remaining, Ireland will bring this across the timeline for the Black Bears. stands around the Virginia Tech logo. He'll find this one off to Aditogun. Aditogun showing off his handles. He goes in the Mutts, runs into Aluna, and has to give that one off to Effrey Tooney. Stands right by the free throw line. Shot clock down to 7 seconds. And it's going to come off of Aditogun and out of play. It will go in the direction of Virginia Tech. And we haven't seen much offense in this second half, but the defense has been well from both sides. It's a 50-25 lead. The Virginia Tech Hokies with a significant advantage. We're going to step aside here from Cassell Coliseum. It is Virginia Tech versus Maine men's basketball on 3304 Sports. Checking back now in is going to be Virginia Tech as they're going to inbound this basketball as we resume play after the under-16 media timeout. Sturm Murphy brings up the ball, gives it to Mutts, gives it to the driving Eileen, and he's swatted behind Wright McLeish, who just checked on in for the first time in the second half. It's a big block, and it's going to be Hokie possession underneath their basket. 19 remaining on the shot clock, but a pretty good defensive stand. Murphy looking to try to get it inside. He gives it to Gasson. Keeps the dribble, now picks it up, trying to find Hunter Couture. He eventually does on the bounce pass. Nice pass inside to Mutts, but good help defense from the Black Bears. Mutts' layup is able to go in, and it falls for 2 points for the Hokies, a 52-25 lead. Duhart is able to bring the ball past the timeline for the Black Bears. Give it now to Ireland on the left wing, trying to maneuver the offense through his hand. And now give it to Fearbergs. And now on up here to Engo. Tries to find the cutting Duhart. He can't get the reverse layup to go, and Hunter Couture flies on in for the rebound. He's going to keep possession of this one and bring it past half court. As he stands down, the Virginia Tech logo finds Mutts. Going to drive it now inside. Goes from right to left. Lays it in. Back-to-back layups at the glass for Justin Mutts. Makes it a 54-25 point lead. 15 points now for the senior forward. Maine with possession. Ireland trying to find a way. He's going to pull for the three-point shot instead and bury it. And Byron Ireland has just nailed the first three-pointer of his collegiate career here for Maine and makes it a 54-28 point game. Murphy now bringing it on in past half court. Gives it to Gasson. Now over to Couture. Gets the screen. Bounce pass to Gasson. And he lays it up and slams it in for Virginia Tech. And Gasson getting the high percentage bucket. And now Maine will signal for a timeout. Well, the Black Bears are having a little difficulty figuring out what to do off of those screens and those pick and rolls, Jake. And that's why it's been a 56-28 lead here for Virginia Tech with 13:59 remaining.
Hokies have done a really good job with ball movement, getting inside. Justin Mutts has been phenomenal tonight, 15 points. And David Gasson just made that great play in the paint. He's got 8 points, a guy who was kind of a role player, got a couple of minutes off the bench here and there last year. It looks like he could be a premier bench scorer for this Hokies team. And really, in the second half, Hokies have played just as well they did in the first half. The only defensive points they've given up on 2 threes, and that last one by Ireland, just a tough shot over top of Murphy from long range.
It looks like that Justin Mutts has won the lottery. He has green lettering for total points, rebounds, assists, turnovers, blocks, and steals for Virginia Tech. He's really been an all-around force, and he's been able to do it at the rim a lot in the second half.
Well, and you say that he leads the team in turnovers. He only has 1. Virginia Tech still sitting at just 2 turnovers on the day. 15 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists again. Like you said, the Hokies are expecting big years out of Aluma and Storm Murphy, but if they can make it a trio with Justin Mutts playing like this Hokies team could be even more dangerous than people expect them to be.
That's certainly the case here in Blacksburg so far. This timeout is going to be a full timeout used by, a 30-second timeout by Maine. It's going to actually opt into a media timeout, so that's what we're in right now. It looked like Maine was able to get things going early in the second half. How did they kind of get back in that groove, now being out by 28 with 14 remaining?
Well, LaShawn Duhart finally hit a shot from long range. He's struggled shooting the ball tonight. 2 of 9, 1 of 4 from long range. He knocked one down right off the jump at the beginning of this second half. And then a big one from Ireland there, who's looked good in his first collegiate action. This is a good young team for Maine, bringing in some of these key players. You look at Byron Ireland coming in this year. Fofo Adetogan is a newer player for this team. He stepped in as a starter there, has a couple of rebounds. Vukasin Masic, transferring in from Hofstra, has had a little bit of the turnover bug today, but 5 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. So some solid young players getting involved for this Maine team and pairing well with the stars, Ingo and Duhart. But big reason why Maine's losing this game is Steph Engo is having a tough night at the office. 0 of 9 from the floor, 0 of 3 from long range. 5 rebounds, but besides that, he has not really done much for this team. Expected to have a big year for the Black Bears.
It's been a tough night for the Black Bears offense indeed, Jake. The way they've been shooting, 11 of 40 from the floor, 4 of 17 from deep. We have some substitutions coming on now. Sean Padula, Darius Maddox, John Ogiaco checking on in for Virginia Tech. Meanwhile, Klangcheck will come on in for Maine, and he'll be the one to inbound it here for the Black Bears right in front of their bench. Still a great crowd out here in Blacksburg, Virginia. No one going anywhere just yet. They waited 600-plus days to get back into this stadium that has given some great basketball moments over the years. Given it inside now, it's going to be a layup taken there by number 10 in Engo. And that's a great way to get out of the timeout for Maine. Make a bucket to make it a 56-30 game. Padula now standing on the Virginia Tech logo. Gives it over to Couture. Padula trying to drive inside. It appears that it goes off of his foot and rolls out of bounds. So Maine will be able to force the turnover on the freshman guard. And now they'll have possession of it here as Duhart brings it across the timeline.
I think I may have had the announcers jinx there. I say Engo's 0 for 9. He makes a basket. Say the Hokies only have 2 turnovers. They turn the ball over again.
Klangcheck thinking from deep, and that rings off the back iron. And Maddox is the man to bring it down for the Hokies. Moves it past half court. Couture trying to come off the off screen. They give it to Gasson, a perfect 4 of 4 on the night. Gives it to Couture in the corner. Double team on Couture. Gasson now trying to drive inside with the left hand. Goes up with it and gets the and one with it. 5 of 5 now on the night. He has 10 points, and he might have an opportunity for an old-fashioned three-point play as he makes it a 58-30 lead for Virginia Tech.
And yeah, we saw this flash from Gasson last year. He had 2 games against Wake Forest and Syracuse, scored 23 points on 9 of 10 shooting. That was 42% of his scoring for the entire season. So obviously a couple huge games from him there, and he's already got 10 tonight.
The 4th free throw on the night for Virginia Tech could not fall as it rims off the back iron. So only 2 points on that play there for David Gasson. Duhart brings it on down. Engo trying to drive baseline, and he is going to be pushed out of bounds by John Ogiaco. It looked like Engo was trying to tiptoe his way just under the hoop there, but the referee gives him the benefit, and John Ogiaco picks up the personal foul.
Just Ogiaco's first. That's a guy who struggled with foul trouble in his first 2 years. He's been a little bit more controlled in this game, but that one a tough one for him to take.
12:50 remaining, a 58-30 lead as Maine inbounds his basketball. Engo stay on the right wing. We'll give it over to Mustic, and Engo will fire away. That is short as it rims off the front of the rim. And Couture is able to come on down with the rebound. Gasson will get it on the left wing, back to Couture in the pop of the perimeter. Padula will get it. Now a drill inside to Ogiaco, who just makes the body work there as he slams it on down. A 60-30 lead for the Hokies. Engo now has it here for the Black Bears. Top perimeter finds the open Klangcheck, who's able to lay it on there with ease off the glass. He gets 2 points for Maine. Kind of puts the crowd down a little bit here with 12:10 to go. It's still a 28-point game. Padula is now bringing the ball up past half court. Finds Couture, who gives it on up to Maddox. Great stoppage there, but he's unable to get the shot to go as he took it from the free throw line. And now Majid trying to find a wide open player for Maine. It was Sam Adehekwoba. He could not get the layup to go as he went airborne to try to catch the basketball and used the right hand to make it on the left side. Put a little too much oomph on that shot and unable to make it fall. And so now it's a 60-38 ball game. Virginia Tech will take this lead as we go into the under 12 media timeout. The Hokies still with the very dominant advantage here at Cassell Coliseum. You're listening to 3304 Sports coverage of NCAA basketball. Welcome back to Cassell Coliseum. 11 minutes and 48 seconds remaining in the second half, where Virginia Tech has a 60-32 lead over Maine. It is the Black Bears' possession as they're going to be inbounding underneath their own hoop. Clanchek catches the inbound pass and drills the mid-range shot for two. And Maine going to be able to get the first 2 points out of the under-12 media timeout. Sean Padula staying in for the Hokies, gives it to Aline on the right wing, fires it from deep, no good off the front of the iron, and it comes on down to Mostic, who is able to collect the board. Pushing up now is Mostic, who gives it out to Fearbanks, who swings that one over to the right side of the court. Driving inside now is going to be the kick out over to Mostic. Catches it around the right wing, dribbling around, step back, jumper from deep, and he airmails that one. Going to be a tough possession there between Mutts and number 12 in Niedidick, but Mutts is the one who's able to pull away with it. Maddox has it now, bounce pass over to Justin Mutts, swings it back on over to Mags to the left wing. Able to keep his dribble alive, takes the jumper and knocks it down from deep. A big three-point shot there from Maddox. It's now a 63-34 lead with 10:40 remaining. Maine with possession of it. Drives inside here for Fearbanks, turns around, jumper, and that one goes off the backboard and rebounded by Aline. Man, Aline's been everywhere tonight, Jake, on the rebounds.
He's been fantastic, especially for a guard.
Aline buries down the mid-range jumper. It goes on in as it's 65-34.
Hear the crowd getting into it. They're letting Message have it.
A foul committed on the floor here. We're going to get a few substitutions now here for the Hokies. Looks like Storm Murphy and David Gasson going to check back in. And we're going to get to see Jalen Haynes check in for Virginia Tech.
Jalen Haynes, freshman, one of a two-man freshman class, getting in for the first time from Florida. And he'll be on Milos Nenadic, freshman from Ontario.
Shot is no good, but rebounded by Maine. Fighting for it, and a foul called on the floor. 4 white jerseys surrounded the Maine rebounder.
That's on Maddox. That's his first.
Ihek Woba is going to try to inbound the basketball, but he's going to call a timeout as he was unable to find something. We're going to step aside here on 3304 Sports. 65-34 lead for Virginia Tech with 9:51 remaining. Gets right back into it here, Maine. And Nenadic is able to tip it up and in as he is able to be fouled on the play. It was a quick inbound, almost like an alley-oop kind of way, but Milos Nenadic was unable to come up down and put it with a slam, but a tip will do. And as he gets his first 2 points of the night, it is now 65-36 in an old-fashioned three-point play opportunity.
Yeah, Nenadic, a guy from Ontario, played with the U16 Canadian national team. 6'10", showing the size that they have on this team.
He's able to bury the free throw as the substitution is made now here. Philopati will come on in here for Fearbergs. Murphy on the Virginia Tech logo, gives it on over to Aline. Over to Maddox. Drives inside aggressively and unable to get it to go. 9:29 remaining here in the second half. Virginia Tech right now with the 65-37 point lead. 6 fouls so far against the Hokies. Meanwhile, only 3 against the Black Bears.
And that's big. Next one's going to put Maine in the bonus for the rest of this game.
Murphy on the inbound, trying to find an open man. He finds Aline in the near quarter, fires it, that one, and it is able to go for Naheem Aline. 3 of 5 now. Maine trying to push it aggressively down the court, and it's going to tip off of Storm Murphy, who made a great defensive play. And Aline was able to bury his first 2 3-point attempts on the night, but that is the first one since about the first minute of this game.
Yeah, Lean with a big shot there. He's been solid all night long. 3 of 5 from long range, 5 of 9 from the field.
Clangs checks because he inbound, unable to get the shot to go. So it's few attempts here from Adi Togun, but he is unable to lay it up and in. And apologies, it's actually Byron Ireland who checked into the game. Had a few attempts for a layup for the Black Bears, but neither of them could have fallen. And a personal foul is actually called on the Black Bears. It will go against Ireland. It will be his second personal of the night. Meanwhile, Storm Murphy will check on out for the Hokies, and Hunter Couture comes back on in. Couture will bring it past timeline, gives it on up to Maddox, picks up possession of it, gives it to Aline on the top of the perimeter. Couture will go from the left wing to the perimeter and is able to find a lead. Keeps his dribble around, backing on into the post, kicks on back out to Maddox, who drives inside, loses possession of it, and is taken away by Nenadic. And now Aline will have it on the far right wing. Jumper here from Maddox, and he misses everything on that attempt. 8:40 remaining. It's Virginia Tech 68, Maine 37. Byron Ireland with possession of it. Maddox on the defender. Ireland lays it up in with the right hand and able to get the nice roll off the glass. Makes it a 68-39 game with 8:25 remaining.
Black Bears probably not going to win this one, but Richard Barron has to be happy by the way his freshman point guard Byron Ireland has played.
Aline on the left wing. He is guarded by Duhart. Aline bounce pass inside of Ogiaco on the far post. Has Nenadic on him. Ogiaco backing on down, trying to make a move. He's able to get the right hook shot, and it takes a few bounces off the rim, and able to fall on down, making it a 70-39 ball game. Byron Ireland now on the far right wing. Gives it on up down to Philovi. Again, this one on over now to Klanschek. Gives it on up to Duhart on the top of the perimeter, but a charging foul is called as Duhart goes into the body in the Aline and will be going with the other way with it. It's all Virginia Tech at Cassell Coliseum. It's the under 8 media timeout. Virginia Tech up 70-39 here on 3304 Sports. Welcome back here to Cassell Coliseum. 7 minutes and 43 seconds remaining between Virginia Tech and Maine in this NCAA men's basketball season opener. A little bit of a half-court press here for Maine. It's able to work on out as Engo is able to grab it away from Hunter Couture. Byron Ireland has possession of it now on the left wing. Looking to try go inside with it. He will stay on top of the perimeter with Engo. Giving a dribble now with the Aline on him. Swings it on over to the right wing where you have Duhart. Duhart trying to work on Naheem Aline, takes a step back, jumper short of the three-point line, but a pretty bucket as it hits nothing but net and falls on down, bringing Maine past the 40-point mark, 70-41 game here in Blacksburg. A little bit of full court press staying alive here from Maine, but the Hokies are able to break this one though, as Hunter Couture has it in the center circle. Bounce pass to John Ogiaco in the high post, looking to try to swing it back over to Couture, but he's going to swing it all the way to the other side to Gasson. Now hands off to Naheem Aline. Top of the perimeter, Gasson is all alone for the Hokies and rims that one in. A perfect night from the field for David Gasson continues as he's now 6 of 6 and buries his first triple of the season. Ireland brings it across now here for the Black Bears. On top to Engo. Gives it on top of Duhart. Looking to Fearbanks, but he's going to go back to the top of the perimeter with Byron Ireland. Keeps the dribbles around, and he's going to find a wide-open Maine player in the corner. Swings it out to Duhart. His triple is no good as it rims in and out, and rebounded by Maddox of the Hokies. 6:09 remaining in the second half. 73-41 lead for Virginia Tech. Gasson on the far corner. He's got isolated coverage. Brings out to the lean on top of the perimeter. He's going to try a triple. That's no good. Gasson tries to come in for the rebound, but it taps off the Hokies last, and it'll be Maine possession with 5:57 remaining. The freshman point guard in Sean Padula will come on in now for Naheem Aline as he'll have a little conversation with Mike Young as he exits the court. And now we will see Duhart bring the ball up now for the Black Bears. Right now, it looks like Virginia Tech is on their way to a 1-0 start on the 2021-2022 season, but these next 5 minutes and 40 seconds could play a key part in their non-conference slate. There's a hook shot there from Beerbanks, but it's no good. It rims in and out, and John Ojiako able to get the rebound. Padula getting his first experience of the full court press, but he's able to maneuver his way slightly through it. Hands this one off to Maddox on the right wing, gives it off to Cassell, spinning around the ACC logo in the paint, gives it back out to Maddox. Jumper from the left side, and buries it just inside the three-point line, and now 75 points for Virginia Tech. They have a 34-point advantage over Maine. Ireland working on the freshman of Padula. Gives this one on up now. Floater there by Klanschek is no good. Padula has it in transition. Lays it up to Couture, who tries to slam it home, but he is unable to do so. It goes last off a Maine Black Bear player, and that one would have given Castleguard something to cheer about in the closing stages of this first game of the season.
Yeah, I think the roof might have blown off if Couture was able to handle that pass. He was ready for a tomahawk alley-oop jam. Would have been one of the more impressive dunks I've seen in person.
4:56 remaining in the second half. Padula will inbound this one. It will go up to David Gasson. Gasson finds Couture on the left wing. Will now give over to Jalen Haynes, who has not really seen much action tonight, but getting some big minutes here late in the second half. And now Gasson will fire over to the right wing, where it's going to go off the left hand of Maddox and out of play. Maine will have an inbound right in front of the Virginia Tech bench. 4:40 remaining. It's a 75-41 lead for the Hokies. Ireland brings the possession on up to the top of the perimeter. Gives it on up now to Prock. Matthias Brock making some minutes here for the Black Bears. Handoff now here to Wright McLeish. Gives it now back to the left wing. And moving on over to the top of the perimeter. Pass inside, and it's going to be a little too long there for Fierbergs. It was Stefan Engo, who was trying to get the pass on in, who will have probably a night to forget. 1 of 11 so far for this Maine team. He does have 6 rebounds, but that was also his second turnover on the night for the Black Bears. Padula will cross the timeline here for Virginia Tech. As he'll take it to the top of the perimeter. Finds Maddox on the near corner. Now gives it off to Gasson. Using those handles to try to get past Peter Filippi, and lays it up and in. Man, David Gasson cannot miss tonight. That was one of the more impressive shots that he was falling down, just put up a little floater, and got a nice touch off the glass to go on in. Past the 4-minute mark here. 4-minute remaining mark in Blacksburg. And Maine has a little bit of a situation as they are stuck in the corner, and it's a traveling violation there from Peter Filippi. And now with 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining, we go into immediate timeout. We'll stay with you here on 3304 Sports as the Hokies have a 77-41 lead. And Jake, this result is going to be a pretty big one for Virginia Tech. Pretty dominating performance so far tonight in Cassell Coliseum, but they got some tough tests ahead of them on the schedule.
They really do. It's a tough non-conference slate for Virginia Tech. You look coming up this weekend on Friday night, Hokies are going to be heading up to Annapolis to face Navy on the road. Now, Navy, probably not a tournament team, but a team that is decent enough, and if you go face them on the road, going to be tough for the Hokies to go in there and come out on top. Then you look ahead to Thanksgiving. After a couple of tune-up games in there, you've got Memphis in the preseason NIT tip-off, and then either Xavier or Iowa State. All three of those teams are usually consistent tournament teams. Iowa State, a couple of down years here, but all three are good. And then you look at that December schedule. It is brutal. At Maryland in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Wake Forest at home to start off the ACC slate. Cornell, a team you should be able to beat. At Dayton. St. Bonaventure on a neutral site. Duke, UNC. So the Hokies have to take advantage of these games against teams that they should beat, because there aren't a lot of those later on in this non-conference schedule.
Yeah, usually when people think of college basketball, they think, okay, none of the games matter before New Year's Day. Once you get through all those college football bowl games, that's where it heats up. But we mentioned, we just went down the non-conference stretch. They have Duke and North Carolina in the month of December as well, so it's going to be very difficult for Virginia Tech to try to move their way on through. Guys, just tune on in. We're in the media timeout here. A 77-41 point lead for Virginia Tech here in Cassell Coliseum. Meanwhile, for Maine, they're going to have some Power 5 competition put ahead for them. What do you think it's going to be like for them in their non-conference slate?
Well, they've got some winnable games. Richard Barron talked about how this team is going to play some Division II schools, some schools that are right around their level in Division I, and also play up against some Power 5 teams. At Virginia Tech tonight, they're also going to play at Colorado next week, at Rutgers later on in their non-conference schedule. But then some games like Maine Farmington in their home opener later on this week. So some winnable games. Maine, Fox, Kent, Central Connecticut State, one of the worst D1 teams in the entire country. So some opportunities for this Maine team to get back on track, even though it looks like they're going to lose by a pretty significant margin tonight in Blacksburg.
They are. And then the last season for the Black Bears, Jake, they were a pretty good defensive team, only allowed 64.6 points per game on the season. But we're going to get to see some players come on in now here for both sides. And most importantly here for Virginia Tech, we're going to see Lynn Kidd make his Virginia Tech debut, as well as Jalen Haynes on in as well. And what is now a 36-point differential between the Hokies and the Black Bears, but Maine not relaxing off of the full court press just yet. Padula will catch this on the left wing. Running on the baseline, he will try to float it on up. Second attempt is no good. And now Lynn Kidd, who's trying to fight for it at the rim, is unable to get a shot up, but a foul will be committed on Maine, so Virginia Tech will be able to hold on to possession. The shot clock will move back up to 20 seconds. 3:25 remaining here in Cassell Coliseum.
Lynn Kidd getting his first run of the season, transfer from Clemson, and looked pretty active there in the middle of the paint.
Padula trying to find an inbounder to go to. He goes to Maddox, but it'll be poked away from Byron Ireland. And so now Virginia Tech will pretty much just move about maybe 10 feet over from the baseline on over to the sideline, just in front of some of the Virginia Tech players. But a whole new strategy to figure out what to inbound it to. Maddox will get this one to Padula, a little smoother for the Hokies than the last time. He will now try to go up to Haynes on top of the perimeter, up to Couture, driving baseline, kicks this back out to Maddox to the right wing, drives inside, finds Padula in the left wing. His jumper off the front iron and no good. It's rebounded by Maine as it goes in the hands of Pirovic. Byron Ireland now has possession of it. On that left wing here for the Black Bears, under 3 minutes remaining in the second half. Reichman Lee's trying to find a way to get it inside to the low post. He does so, but gets right back on out. It's Endo on Jalen Haynes on that far post, but turnaround jumper is able to go. Only the second field goal of the night for the man who averaged 10.6 points per game last season for the Black Bears. Makes it a 77 to 43-point game. Mags will find on over to Couture, to Padula on the right wing, and he buries the triple. And the freshman is on the scoreboard for the first time in his collegiate career, and no other than a three-point shot. The Hokies have been able to do this all night, and he makes it an 80 to 43-point game. Ireland on inside to Nenedick. It is no good. It's rebounded by Couture. Moving on in now to Mags on the left wing, trying to drive inside. Nice spin move off the glass, and in with the right hand. It's now a 80-82 to 43-point lead. And with 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining, we're going to get to see this cool moment here. Some preferred walk-ons coming on in here for Virginia Tech, and Camden Johnson and in Ben Varga.
Yeah, always cool in games like this. Hokies up by almost 40 now, so you get to see guys who later on in the season aren't going to hear their number called very often get an opportunity to play these final 2 minutes.
So just waiting for the Spirit squad to exit the court now. As the inbound will come on in, Byron Ireland will bring this ball past the timeline. So some faces on the court right now that you probably won't see much of this season, but a good 2 minutes here against Maine. This shot can be fired away here from Wright McLeish. It is no good, rebounded by Lynn Kidd on up to Padula. Question is, will we get to see one of the walk-ons maybe take a shot? Padula over and on over. Gives it down inside to Lynn Kidd, trying to find a way to get to Haynes. Nice spin move, but he's on the other side of the basket than he wants to be on, and he turns it over as Reich McGeish is able to get it. A pass all the way down to Byron Ireland is no good, and it gets past the hands of the guard. Apologies, it actually is Sam Ihekwalaba. Sean Padula now bringing it on down. Less than 90 seconds remaining And Cassell Coliseum an 82-43 point lead for Virginia Tech. Sean Padula driving inside, gives it on up to Lynn Kidd. He's got two Maine defenders around him down low in a little bit of a situation, but a jump ball will be called. Possession arrow is going in the way of the Maine Black Bears. So a minute 14 remaining now, and now Ireland will bring possession of this. Off past half court. Padula trying to go in there and try to poke it away from Reich McLeish. He's able to do so, but it's last touch by the Hokie. And now 1 minute and 9 seconds remaining. And Reich McLeish is going to inbound this basketball just in front of the Maine bench. Slaps the basketball, trying to find an open teammate. He does in Byron Ireland, top of the perimeter. Gives this ball on down to Fairbags. And Ireland takes a step back, long two-pointer, but is able to get it to fall. Byron Ireland, just a freshman, but has had some great marks on tonight's game. And he makes it an 82-45 point game.
Yeah, leads the team in scoring now with 9.
Jalen Haynes is going to take it, drives inside. As he goes to the basket, he's going to catch a body, and Peter Filiopi. It will be a blocking foul, so Jalen Haynes might have a trip to the free throw line, but it appears that it will be. Looked like for a moment it might have been on the floor, but it's a 17 foul on the Maine Black Bears, so a 1-on-1 opportunity coming up here for Haynes. Haynes played at the Dillard High School under legendary head coach and Darrell Burrows, but he is unable to make the front end of the 1-and-1. So Maine might be trying to push it here for some last chance possessions here in Cassell Coliseum. Pass on inside now. This one is to Fairbergs. He is on the left high post trying to dribble in inside. Here comes Williamson trying to pack it away, but he's unable to do so. And it's able to get the hook shot to fall for the Maine player. And now with the shot clock turned off, it looks like the Hokies will probably just sit on this one and let the time roll out. The fans rising to their feet in Cassell Coliseum. High hopes for the Virginia Tech men's basketball program in 2021 and 2022. They left it all out there today. Our Carlinian Clinic Court in an 82-47 victory over the Maine Black Bears. The Hokies will start off their season with a 1-0 record before they hit the road to Annapolis. And that's exactly what Mike Young and company wanted to get the season started off, as we're going to be transitioning out to the 3304 Sports post-game show. What a day it was in Blacksburg. The women's and the men's team both victorious, Jake. But let's focus in on the men's basketball team right now. It maybe was not the prettiest game offensively, but they did shut down a lot of Maine Black Bears opportunities.
They really did. I mean, you look at the two players that we highlighted in the pregame, the returners who were expected to lead the Black Bears, LaShawn Duhart and Steph Engo. 5 of 24 combined from the floor, totaling just 11 points. So Hokies were able to stop their main contributors, but you did see some younger guys get involved, Byron Ireland and Christian Fearbergs for the Black Bears, but the Hokies overall were able to do enough on defense, shutting down the star players for the Black Bears to get this big win.
No double-doubles tonight from either side, but the one stat that everyone's going to be circling is the way that David Gasson played tonight.
David Gasson, 7 of 7 from the floor. There was rumblings this season. Is the hype real about David Gasson? Could be that sixth man off the bench for this Virginia Tech team. I mentioned during the broadcast a lot of flashes for David Gasson last year of what he could be, and he showed it all tonight. Made a three-pointer, was able to get into the lane, make some acrobatic plays at the rim, and again, tied for the team lead with 15 points with Justin Mutts. All of Mutts' scoring came in the first half, though, so David Gasson having himself a great second half and could be a huge contributor for the Hokies throughout the season.
I think what's remarkable about tonight's game is the amount of free throws that were shot. Only 8 in tonight's game so far. It was pretty much fast-paced, let the guys play out and everything. But I have to admit, Jake, we've watched this Maine Black Bears team. We came into this game knowing that offensively they're not the most sound team. Is this a Black Bears team that could possibly compete for some positioning in the American East this year?
Well, they've got to be able to shoot the ball better than they did tonight and not turn the ball over. It was a very sloppy game for this Black Bears team. Some ill-advised shots, especially from Duhart, would just come across half court and throw up a long three-pointer. 19 turnovers for Maine as well tonight. That is not a good number, especially compared to Virginia Tech, who had 8 turnovers to 18 assists, and 6 of those turnovers came in the last 15 minutes of the game. So the Hokies played a much cleaner game, and that was why they were able to pull away from the Black Bears. But as you were saying, if Maine wants to compete in the American East and really have a good season this year, they've got to be able to clean it up on the offensive end and get better production from their star players.
That's exactly the point. 27 points off the bench for Maine out of the 47. That is something that you have to be proud about. Over half of the points coming off the bench in tonight's contest. But you're mentioning 47 points is not going to win you a basketball game. But for 82 for Virginia Tech, it was a great night as well. But I was not going to come into tonight's matchup knowing that Justin Mutts and David Cassell could lead the point scoring. But you looked at it, Keve Aluma, only 8 points tonight. Wasn't really a high-volume shooter. Is that something that should change for Virginia Tech going forward?
I think it's a game plan thing, and I think as they play better teams, Keve Aluma is going to be more part of the game plan. But it is interesting to look at that heading into this season and this game, all the talk was about Keve Aluma coming back as a first-team preseason All-ACC player. Storm Murphy, first-team All-SoCon last year, going to be an offensive influx for this team. Well, they combined for just 13 points. It was Gasson, Aline, and Mutts who led the way, combining for 43 points. So that's going to have to be the way the Hokies can win, and you're hoping that you can keep getting these contributions from guys like that while Mutts and Murphy continue to come along.
Looking up next for the Virginia Tech Hokies, they go up to Annapolis, Maryland. Here's a little note for you. Navy right now playing at Virginia. They have a 42-35 lead at the half. This might be a good Navy team that Virginia Tech goes up against. So what do you think the Hokies have to clean up on before Friday's contest?
Well, it's going to be a tough test. First week of the season, you're going on the road on a Friday night facing a team that in Navy, they're a solid team, but they don't have much to lose when you play a Power 5 team like Virginia Tech. They're trying to pull off the upset, and you're seeing it happen in Charlottesville right now with Navy. That's what happens when you have a team in the group of 5 in the mid-majors that come and play these Power 5 teams. They want to pull off the upset, so Virginia Tech has to be on alert. They've got to go ready to play into Annapolis, a tough road atmosphere, really their first road test and only road test up until after Thanksgiving.
And the Hokies are able to get the season started off right with a 1-0 record. Maine will suffer to that 0-1 result before they head back on the road, where they will actually go back home and take on Maine Farmington on November 12th, same night as when Virginia Tech takes on Navy this Friday. That's going to do it from Cassell Coliseum. The Virginia Tech men's basketball team takes down the Maine Black Bears to the score of 82-47. That's going to do it from our coverage in what was a wild doubleheader today here in Cassell Coliseum. My name is Andy Loce. I'm doing alongside with Jake Lyman here in the broadcasting booth. So long from 3304 Sports.